Good morning, gardening friends. Today is Friday, May 26th, and this is the beginning of Memorial Day weekend. It is a beautifully sunny day, and right now cool. It's a low 70, and it's just nice to be out here. Humidity's not too bad yet. A lot has been going on this week. You can see I put some cushions out. I do have cushions for all of my chairs. I just don't put them out when it's raining every day. I don't like them to get wet. Here you can see my yellow sedum. It's actually called yellow coral. However, that is a trademarked name, so not sure. I'm not a lawyer whether you can propagate that legally. I know you can't do it for sale. But if you were to, I wouldn't call it yellow coral. I would just say yellow sedum. Here you can see my bay tree is doing nicely. It's got a whole bunch of new leaves on the top. My chrysanthemums are blooming. It's just a nice time to be out. And my heliotrope is still blooming. It really likes that spot, so I'm going to leave it there. It's not too fragrant right now, but usually those flowers smell of cherry pie. Very sweet. Here you can see the aspidistras are still blooming. That's a clump. And my Nico blue hydrangea is still coming out. I'm going to have to cut these stalks off. They do look nice when they go to seed. Maybe I'll leave them on a little bit longer. I just don't want them to seed because they really do spread quite quickly. My celosia is still doing okay. I've been doing a lot of planting this week and cleaning up in the front yard, but we'll talk about the front yard another day. I made too long of a video last time, and it took me about 2.5 hours to upload that, which is quite a lot of time, so I thought I'd break it down between front yard and backyard today. My Nico blue hydrangea is still getting larger. Something new back here is I bought this plaque this last week. It wasn't terribly expensive. It was like $40. Love it. And I had that window box, the wire part of it. I just bought an insert for it. I'm going to probably put, I'm not certain what I'm going to put there yet. Tune in next week and you'll see. Probably coleus. This is a nice alamanda that I bought from Lowe's at their half price sale. It was such a nice plant. I normally don't get alamandas because they're not winter hardy in zone 8B, and they can get rather large and unwieldy to move. Some of them have scent. The pink ones are sweet. The yellow ones do smell of onion, the flowers. And these don't have a scent at all. Some of them don't have a scent. And I've got this potato vine trained up here. I put this stick across the top. And what I'm going to do, you can sort of see it over here, is I've started twining the potato vine around it. This is the potato vine that was coming up between my fence and my neighbor's fence. And I pulled it out so that I could have it on my side. So it hasn't, the leaves haven't quite developed on it yet because it's not used to the sun. But needless to say, I will have a little archway of potato vine, and hopefully I can keep the bugs from it so that they don't eat the vines, eat the leaves up. I have seen hummingbirds back here, although my neighbor Sarah put up a couple of feeders. I can see from my dining room table, so she may steal them away. Here's this iachroma is in bloom. It'll get a lot taller than that. Back here, I haven't really done much. Really don't have to do an awful lot in an established garden. You just sort of tweak it here and there. There's a lot of bugs out this morning. You can kind of see them in the glistening in the sun. My cycad, the male cycad cone, is just about fully developed. I'd say it's about, well, the cone itself is probably about 2.5 feet. It's going to get a little taller. I did move some of these house leeks around. I bought another little pot. This pot, the big one, has a crack in it. And so I'll wait for that one motorcycle to go. It's not really a motorcycle, it's really a little motor scooter. But they work down the hill at the Ace Hardware, so every morning about this time. Oh, what was I saying? This bowl has a little crack in it, so actually a couple of cracks in it, so it's not long for this world, but I'm going to leave it until it actually does fall apart. In the meantime, I started another one. I think I'm going to give it probably another month, but I do believe this loquat tree is dead, because even the sprouts coming out of the ground are dry. I've been hoping that the new growth, it still has some new growth at the tip, so I'm going to leave it and hope that it'll grow, but it does not look promising. So fortunately I have tiered planting underneath, so it won't be terribly missed except for something tall. And I may either plant another one, loquat that is, or possibly a crepe myrtle. You can see back there I have a, so I can get the glare of the sun out of the way. There is a, it's just not going to cooperate. I have a bottle brush planted there, and the good news, that bottle brush was planted when the loquat tree was small. That bottle brush will get really huge, and I may just let it do that. The one concern I have, and you older gardeners will be able to know what I'm talking about, is that loquat tree is probably about 10 to 15 years old. And so I'm always reluctant to get rid of an old tree, because quite frankly, I don't think I would see another one grow to get that tall. I'm approaching my expiration date, but that's okay. These other loquats are still doing well. And here's the tropical side. It's really tropical and lush in here. My ladyfinger palm transplant is still holding on. It looks like it's sending out a new leaf, so that's all good. You can really see the statue of David in the sun. Pay no attention to the stepladder. It's for a close-up. Here you can see the cutting I took of the angel's trumpet that originally lived there, and it is doing nicely. They grow much more rapidly when you put them in the ground. And there you can see my Fatsahedra, the one that got snapped in the wind. It's got a little sprout that's coming back. And let me see if I stuck what broke off into the ground at the base of that, but no, it did not live. That's okay. And what I wanted to show you, which is why I've got this ladder here, let me climb up this ladder carefully, is my pindo palm is fruiting. There is its fruit stalk. Those fruits will get, about the size of a plum, and they'll turn yellow, yellowish orange. I have to get down very carefully. Okay. But you can see there are various stages of this pindo palm. That stalk has got fruit. Another stalk is just opening the flower. And the ones in the back opened earlier in the winter, and I guess the frost got to them. So there's, although a little bit of fruit there, there's not a lot. And I believe, yeah, this is another stalk that is just getting, starting to develop fruit. So it's pushed out a bunch of fruit stalks this year. There's another small stub in the back. Again, that was pushed out in the wintertime and the frost got to it. So it loves this location. I don't know if you can tell. I'll look at it this way. You can see how this tree is sloped. I made the mistake of planting it too close to my house about 30 years, well, 25 years ago, 28 years ago. And so what I've been doing ever since is I've been cutting the branches that touch the house. I don't want it to touch the house. And what that has done is I'm assuming, it's made the palm a little top heavy, and so it pulled it away from the house, which is a good thing. And it has now cleared the roof, so hopefully it can just keep growing in its general direction. So it is possible to train these palms to grow in the direction you want. It's not easy, and you have to have patience. But that is a gorgeous fruiting stalk on that. I do have my fountains going, you can hear them. I think I'm going to move the little ceramic garden seat over here so I could sit next to that and kind of listen to it. Up at the deck, not much new. You still see the lilies of the Nile. They're adapting to their new pots. Oh, there's Miss Mimi waiting patiently. She's been separated for too long. She gets nervous. Come on. Come on. This pitcher plant has just really loved this location. The growth from here on down was all put out this year. And it does have other stalks coming from inside. It's very deceptive when you buy nepenthes. In fact, when I bought that plaque that you can see on the back wall, they were also, I got it at A. Bloom Garden Center. It's a local garden center. And they were selling these same nepenthes that I bought. And in the pot, they're about that big. And this is a year later, if you find a spot that it likes. Here you can see the cuttings I took of the purple spiderwort are still alive, except for this particular one that one of the black grasshoppers got in and ate. I've been finding more and more of them and dispensing with them as I find them. I'm excited about the plumeria. It's getting its leaves, and if you look really, really close, I believe those are buds coming, flower buds. And up in here, same thing. I have found that the plumerias are a little fragile. You got to be careful, like walking around them, that you don't break leaves off. They do exude a milky sap that can be, what's the right word? It can bother some people. Here I haven't yet planted these out, but the little miracle of the week, you may remember last Sunday I was lamenting how the birds got these green beans, and as you can see, even though they're a little deformed and eaten, it doesn't seem to have bothered them any. They just sent out new shoots on the stalk that was left, and I will be planting them in my potager in the front yard. So never give up hope. Even though I had stubs there last week, they're going to produce. There you can see the peach. Angel's trumpet is doing well. It's still not above the aspidistras enough where the bugs aren't eating it, but it grows faster than they can eat. And that's about it for today. I'll leave you with a shot. Hopefully you can see it. The shadows are a little weird. Of my new plaque. Have a good day. I'll see you in a couple of days. Happy Memorial Day weekend.